Hi, welcome to EC-based online classes. In this video, we are going to solve questions from old papers on quadratic equations. I'm going to solve 25 questions asked in various board exam papers. Do one thing, solve all these questions along with me so that you can score 100% from this topic. I hope you have subscribed to our channel already. If not so, please do it now. I'm going to do videos on other topics also. Please share this video with your friends so that it can benefit them. Let's take a look at questions. Question number 1, solve for x. The equation given is 6x squared plus 11x plus 3 equal to 0. This question appeared in year 2020, set number 4. We solve this equation using method of splitting the middle term. As per method of splitting the middle term, we have to find two numbers p and q such that p plus q is equal to quotient of x. In this particular case, it is 11. And PQ has to be equal to product of remaining quotients, that is 6 times 3 equal to 18. It means that we have to find factors of 18 to solve this particular equation. 18 can be written as 9 times 2. So 9 plus 2 is equal to 11. It means it is satisfying both the requirements, right? P equal to 9 and Q equal to 2. We can say that. And expand that middle term such that you can write the given equation as 6x squared plus 9x plus 2x plus 3 equal to 0. If you take 3x as common factor from first two terms and 1 as the common factor from last two terms, you can write the previous expression as 3x times 2x plus 3 plus 1 times 2x plus 3 equal to 0, right? So let's take 2x plus 3 as common factor, then it can be written as 2x plus 3 times 3x plus 1 equal to 0. It means that this particular equation holds true when 2x plus 3 equal to 0 and or 3x plus 1 equal to 0. If 2x plus 3 equal to 0, then x is going to be minus 3 by 2. If 3x plus 1 equal to 0, then x is going to be minus 1 by 3, right? So now we can say that minus 3 by 2 and minus 1 by 3 are the roots of the given equation 6x squared plus 11x plus 3 equal to 0. Let's go to the next question. Sum of the areas of two squares is 157 meters square. If the sum of their perimeters is 68 meter, find the sides of the two squares. It is from 2019, set number 4. There are two squares and their areas are given. If I assume that x and y are the sides of two squares, x is the side length of one square and y is the side length of another square. And we know that area of square is equal to length of the side square, right? It means sum of the areas of two squares is going to be x square plus y square, that is equal to 157. And we were given sum of the perimeters. Perimeter of a square is 4 times side length of the square, right? It means sum of perimeters is going to be 4x plus 4y equal to 68. Let's rewrite this expression as x plus y equal to 17 so that y can be equal to 17 minus x, right? So now let's substitute y equal to 17 minus x into the previous equation, x square plus y square equal to 157. When you expand this, you can write this expression as x square plus 289 plus x square minus 34x equal to 157, right? Rearrange this and simplify it such that you get a quadratic equation x square minus 17x plus 66 equal to 0. If you go by solving it using splitting the middle term method, you can write 66 as minus 11 times 6 minus 6 and minus 11 plus minus 6 equal to minus 17. So we can say that p equal to minus 11 and q equal to minus 6, right? So x square plus minus 17x plus 66 equal to 0 can be written as x minus 11 times x minus 6 equal to 0. It means x equal to 11 is one of the roots and x equal to 6 is another root for this particular equation. If x equal to 11, then y is going to be equal to 6, right? Or if x equal to 6, y is going to be automatically equal to 11. So both the roots of the given equation are giving the same result, that is 11 comma 6. So we say that 11 meters and 6 meters are the sides of two squares. This is what we are asked to find, right? Let's go to the next question. That is, using the completing the square method, show that the equation x square minus 8x plus 18 equal to 0 has no solution. Before attempting this problem, I want you to quickly take a look at what is completing square method. Completing square method can be of help in finding non-integer roots of quadratic equation. For example, earlier two problems, whatever we have solved, the roots were integers, right? When you want to solve equations which have got non-integer roots, this method is going to help. To understand this further, for example, let's solve this particular equation x square plus 5x plus 3 equal to 0 using the method of splitting the middle term. So we have to find p and q such that p plus q equal to 5 and pq equal to 3, right? We know that factors of 3 are 3 and 1 only, right? So their product is 3, that is satisfying our requirement of pq equal to 3. Whereas their sum is not going to give you 5 at any, whatever combinations you try. It means that no integer factors of 3 satisfy the requirement. Does it mean that there are no roots for this particular equation? That is not true. As you see from this graph is cutting through x-axis at 2 points, right? It means it has got two roots. So from the graph, you can say that one root is lying between 0 and minus 1 and other root is lying between minus 5 and minus 4. Whereas when you try to solve this particular problem using method of splitting the middle term, you end up with no solution. But that is not the reality, right? Let's go to completing square method and try to solve the same problem. X square plus 5x plus 3 equal to 0 can be written as x square plus 5x equal to minus 3, right? We know that a plus b whole square equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab, right? This can be rearranged and written as a square plus 2ab equal to a plus b whole square minus b square. Now let's compare x square plus 5x with a square plus 2ab. To do that, let me expand x square plus 5x as x square plus 2 times x plus 5 by 2. Now you can compare and say that a is equal to x and b equal to 5 by 2, right? It means x square plus 5x can be written as x plus 5 by 2 whole square minus 5 by 2 whole square, right? Let's take a note of that and go back to the problem. X square plus 5x plus 3 equal to 0 now can be written as x plus 5 by 2 whole square minus 5 by 2 square plus 3 equal to 0, right? When you rearrange and simplify, x plus 5 by 2 whole square can be written as 13 by 4. It means x plus 5 by 2 is equal to plus or minus square root of 13 divided by 2, right? It means when I take plus square root of 13 by 2, I can say that x plus 5 by 2 equal to square root of 13 by 2. When you simplify it, you get x equal to square root of 13 minus 5 divided by 2. Instead, if I take the negative sign, I can write x plus 5 by 2 equal to minus of root 13 divided by 2. When you simplify it, you get x equal to minus root 13 minus 5 by 2, right? We can now say that these are the two roots of x square plus 5x plus 3 equal to 0. When you simplify them, one root is minus 0.6972 and the other root is minus 4.3028. You may recall that we said that from the graph, one root is lying between 0 and minus 1, that is first root, and the other root is lying between minus 5 and minus 4, that is minus 4.3028, right? So what you have learned now is completing square method is going to help you find roots of quadratic equations which are non-integers. Please take a note of that. And let's go back to our original problem. Using the completing square method, we have to show that the equation x square minus 8x plus 18 equal to 0 has no solution. Let me write it as x square minus 8x equal to minus 18. This time I am taking a minus b whole square formula, that is a square minus 2ab plus b square. Let me rewrite that formula as a square minus 2ab equal to a minus b whole square minus b square. And now let's compare x square minus 8x with a square minus 2ab. When you do that, you can say that a equal to x and b equal to 4, right? It means x square minus 8x can be written as x minus 4 whole square minus 4 square, right? Let's take a note of that and go back to the actual problem. That is x square minus 8x plus 18 equal to 0 can be now written as x minus 4 whole square minus 16 plus 18 equal to 0. Simplify it such that you get x minus 4 whole square equal to minus 2. So if you take the square to the other side, it becomes x minus 4 equal to plus or minus square root of minus 2. Please take a note of this. We know that square root of a negative number is not a real number, right? Means square root of minus 2 is not a real number. Hence we can say that no real roots exist for x square minus 8x plus 18 equal to 0. Let's go to the next question. If x equal to 3 is one root of the quadratic equation x square minus 2kx minus 6 equal to 0, then find the value of k is the question. It is from 2018, set number 1. X equal to 3 is the root of given equation. We know that a root of an equation satisfies the equation. It means that when you substitute x equal to 3 into the given equation, it will satisfy automatically. So let's now substitute x equal to 3 into the given equation and simplify it such that you get k equal to half. This is what we are looking for. K equal to half is the solution and the quadratic equation becomes x square minus x minus 6 equal to 0. Let's go to the next question. That is question number 5. If one root of the quadratic equation is 2x square plus 2x plus k equal to 0, then is minus 1 by 3, then find the value of k. Here root is given, that is minus 1 by 3. X equal to minus 1 by 3 is the root. Then find the value of k. This is exactly identical to the previous problem. So I'm not going to solve. I'm just giving you hint so that you can solve this problem. Substitute x equal to minus 1 by 3 in the given equation, that is 2x square plus 2x plus k equal to 0, and simplify the equation to find the value of k. When you do that, you are going to get k equal to 4 by 9 as the answer. Please do it for yourself and you will find the answer using the hint given. Let's go to the next question, that is question number 6. The roots of quadratic equation x square minus 0.04 equal to 0 are, choices are given. X square minus 0.04 equal to 0 can be written as x square equal to 0.04, right? It means x equal to square root of 0.04, that is equal to plus or minus 0.2. Answer is choice A. Let's go to the next question, that is question number 7. Find the value of p for which one root of the quadratic equation px square minus 14x plus 8 equal to 0 is 6 times the other. You may recall that if alpha and beta are the roots of a given quadratic equation, then the quadratic equation is going to be x square minus alpha plus beta times x plus alpha beta equal to 0. The quotient of x is negative of sum of the roots and constant is product of the roots, right? The given equation px square minus 14x plus 8 equal to 0 can be written as x square minus 14 by p times x plus 8 by p equal to 0, right? Now let's compare this with the previous equation. You can now say that sum of roots alpha plus beta equal to 14 by p and product of roots equal to alpha beta equal to 8 by p, right? One statement given in the problem is one root is equal to 6 times the other root. It means I can write beta equal to 6 times alpha. If that is the case, let's substitute that into sum of the roots expression, that is alpha plus beta. It is going to be equal to 7 alpha, and that is equal to 14 by p. Already we know that. So when you simplify it, you get alpha equal to 2 by p, right? Now let's take the product of roots, that is alpha times beta. It is going to be alpha times 6 times alpha, that is equal to 6 alpha square. That is equal to 8 by p, which is known already. So when you simplify it, I'm substituting alpha equal to 2 by p into the previous equation, 6 alpha square equal to 8 by p, and simplify such that I get 24 by p equal to 8. It means p equal to 3. P equal to 3 is the answer we are looking for. The next question, question number 8. If one root of 5x square plus 13x plus k equal to 0 is the reciprocal of the other root, then find the value of k. It is from 2018 compartment paper. 5x square plus 13x plus k equal to 0 can be written as x square plus 13 by 5 times x plus k by 5 equal to 0, right? We know that alpha and beta are roots of equation x square minus of alpha plus beta times x plus alpha beta equal to 0, right? Let's compare the products here. Product of roots alpha beta is going to be equal to k by 5, right? And in the problem statement, it is given that one root is reciprocal of the other root. It means alpha equal to 1 by beta. So I can say that alpha beta equal to 1, right? In the earlier statement, we said that alpha beta equal to k by 5. It means k by 5 equal to 1. So k equal to 5 is the solution. Let's go to the next question, that is question number 9. Write the discriminant of the quadratic equation x plus 5 whole square equal to 2 times 5x minus 3. This is from 2019, set number 3. Before solving this problem, I want you to understand or recall certain concepts based on this particular problem. For ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, the quadratic formula defines the roots as x equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Please take a note of this. And the value of b square minus 4ac defines the nature of the roots. Please take a note of this. If you want to understand this further, you can take a look at one of our videos on this particular topic. I'll share the link in the description below. Hence, b square minus 4ac is called discriminant of the quadratic equation. It is denoted using capital D, letter capital D, d equal to b square minus 4ac. When b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, the roots are going to be real numbers, but they are distinct real numbers. When b square minus 4ac equal to 0, the roots of quadratic equation are going to be real numbers and they are equal. Please take a note of this. When b square minus 4ac is less than 0, roots are not real numbers. It means that no real roots exist for a given equation. With this concept in mind, let's go back to the problem. We have to write the discriminant for the quadratic equation given. Let's try to simplify this equation. X plus 5 whole square you expand using a plus b whole square equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab formula. And when you expand and simplify it, you can write it as shown here. And you further simplify it such that you get x square plus 31 equal to 0 as the quadratic equation representing the given equation. Now we know that d equal to b square minus 4ac is the discriminant for the quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, right? Let's now compare the equation x square plus 31 equal to 0 with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, such that you can say a equal to 1, b equal to 0 and c equal to 31, right? Now let's substitute these values into the expression given for d and simplify. You get d equal to minus 124. This is the discriminant of the given quadratic equation. Please take a note of that. And let's go to the next question, that is question number 10. The discriminant of the quadratic equation 3 root 3 times x square plus 10x plus root 3 equal to 0 is what we have to find, and 4 options are given. Let's now compare the given equation with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 such that we can write the discriminant. When you compare, you can say a equal to 3 root 3, b equal to 10 and c equal to root 3, right? Let's substitute these into equation given for d and simplify it such that you get d equal to 64. It means choice D is the answer. Let's go to the next question, that is, find the nature of the roots of quadratic equation 2x square minus 4x plus 3 equal to 0. We said that nature of the roots can be known by getting the value of discriminant, right? Let's do that now. Let's now compare the given equation with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 such that you can say a equal to 2, b equal to minus 4 and c equal to 3, right? Now let's substitute these values into discriminant formula, that is d equal to b square minus 4ac. When you simplify it, you get d equal to b square minus 4ac is equal to minus 8, which is less than 0, right? When b square minus 4ac is less than 0, we said that the roots are not real numbers. So answer is 2x square minus 4x plus 3 equal to 0 has no real roots. Let's go to the next question. Find the values of k for which the quadratic equation k plus 4 times x square plus k plus 1 times x plus 1 equal to 0 has equal roots. It is from year 2020, set number 3. When you compare the given equation with x square plus bx plus c equal to 0, you get a equal to k plus 4, b equal to k plus 1 and c equal to 1. And we know the formula for a discriminant. Substitute all these ABC values into b square minus 4ac equation and simplify it such that you get b square minus 4ac equal to k square minus 2k minus 15, right? And in the problem statement, it was said that we want to have equal roots for the given equation. We know that when the roots have to be equal, b square minus 4ac has to be equal to 0. It means k square minus 2k minus 15 has to be equal to 0. This is also a quadratic equation. Let's solve this particular equation. When you solve it, you get it as k minus 5 times k plus 3 equal to 0. It means k equal to 5 and k equal to minus 3 are the values which satisfy the given quadratic equation, satisfy the given quadratic equation such that the roots are going to be equal. Please take a note of that. Let's take a look at next question, that is question number 13. Write all the values of p for which the quadratic equation x square plus px plus 16 equal to 0 has equal roots. Find the roots of the equation so obtained is the question given, that is from 2019. When you compare the given equation with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, you can say that a equal to 1, b equal to p and c equal to 16, right? And we know that discriminant is going to define the nature of roots. Let's find the discriminant, that is b square minus 4ac. That is equal to p square minus 64. And we know that discriminant has to be equal to 0 when the roots are to be real and equal, right? It means p square minus 64 has to be equal to 0. So this can be written as p minus 8 times p plus 8 equal to 0. So p can be plus or minus 8, right? When you take plus 8 for the p, then the given expression can be written as x square plus 8x plus 16 equal to 0. This can be expressed as x plus 4 whole square equal to 0. It means x is equal to minus 4 and minus 4. The two roots are equal and that is equal to minus 4. So now we can say that roots of x square plus 8x plus 16 equal to 0 is minus 4 and minus 4. If you take minus 8 for p, then the equation becomes x square minus 8x plus 16 equal to 0. This can be written as x minus 4 whole square equal to 0. It means x equal to 4 and 4 are the solutions for this particular equation. It means roots of x square minus 8x plus 16 equal to 0 are x equal to 4 and 4. This is what we are asked to find. The next question is, the quadratic equation x square minus 4x plus k equal to 0 has distinct real roots if k equal to 4, k greater than 4, k equal to 16 and k less than 4 are given as choices. When you compare this equation with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, you know that you get to see that a equal to 1, b equal to minus 4 and c equal to k, right? Let's substitute them into the discriminant equation, that is b square minus 4ac, that has to be greater than 0 when the roots are to be real number but distinct roots, right? When you substitute those values, the d can be written as shown here. When you further simplify that, you get to see that k is less than 4. When k is less than 4, the given equation will have distinct real roots. Please take a note of that. So the choice D is the answer. Let's go to the next question. Question number 15. For what values of k does the quadratic equation 4x square minus 12x minus k equal to 0 have no real roots? Compare this equation with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, so that you can say a equal to 4, b equal to minus 12 and c equal to minus k, right? You can substitute them into the discriminant equation, that is b square minus 4ac. It has to be less than 0 when you want to have no real roots for the given equation, right? When you substitute ABC values into this equation and simplify it, what you get is k less than minus 9. When k is less than minus 9, the given equation will have no real roots. Please take a note of that. Let's go to the next question, that is question number 16. The values of k for which the quadratic equation 2x square plus kx plus 2 equal to 0 has equal roots. We have to find the value of k. Choices are given. We know that b square minus 4ac has to be 0 when the roots are to be real numbers and equal roots. So when you substitute ABC values into b square minus 4ac equal to 0, you get k square minus 16 equal to 0. It means k equal to plus or minus 4, and choice B is the answer. Let's go to the next question, that is question number 17. If the roots of the quadratic equation in x are equal, the equation given is the following: a square plus b square times x square minus 2 times ac plus bd times x plus c square plus d square equal to 0. Then we are asked to prove that AD equal to BC. For the roots to be equal, we know that discriminant D has to be equal to 0. The discriminant can be expressed as following: D equal to quotient of x whole square minus 4 times quotient of x square times constant, right? Now when you take a look at the equation, you can write the discriminant as shown here. Quotient of x whole square goes as first term, that is minus 2 times AC plus BD whole square, and the next term is 4 times quotient of x square times constant, that is equal to 4 times minus of 4 times a square plus b square times c square plus d square, right? This is equal to 0. Let's take a look at the first term. minus 2 times AC plus BD whole square, that can be written as 4 times AC plus BD whole square. You expand it using A plus B whole square equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB formula, so that you get an expression like this. Take a look at the second term and expand it so that you can write it as 4 times A square C square plus A square D square plus B square C square plus B square D square. You substitute these two expressions back to D equation such that you get a lengthy expression like this. And when you simplify it, you get 2 times ABCD minus A square D square minus B square C square equal to 0. This equation can be rearranged and written as AD whole square plus BC whole square minus 2 times ABCD equal to 0. This is looking like A plus B whole square equal to A square minus B square, A square plus B square minus 2AB, right? So you can write the given expression as AD minus BC whole square equal to 0. It means AD minus BC equal to 0. That can be written as AD equal to BC. This is what exactly we are asked to prove. Let's go to the next question. Question number 18. Solve for x. The given equation is the following. Root 2x square plus 7x plus 5 root 2 equal to 0. For ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, the quadratic formula defines the roots. We have just touched upon this concept. The quadratic formula is written as following. X equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a, right? Please take a note of this formula. And when you compare the given equation with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, a is going to be root 2, b is 7 and c is 5 root 2, right? Now you substitute these values into the quadratic formula and simplify it such that you get x equal to minus 7 plus or minus 3 divided by 2 root 2. If I take plus 3, the numerator becomes minus 4 and x becomes minus 4 divided by 2 root 2, that is equal to minus root 2, right? When I take negative sign, the numerator becomes minus 10 and x becomes minus 10 divided by 2 root 2, that is equal to minus 5 by root 2. These are the two values of x, are the two roots for the given expression. Let's go to the next question, that is question number 19. Sum of the areas of two squares is 544 meter square. If the difference of their perimeters is 32 meter, find the sides of the two squares. Let me assume that x is the side of one of the squares and y is side of another square. Area of square with side length x is given as x square and perimeter of the same square is given as 4x, right? So now it was given that sum of areas of two squares is 544. It means x square plus y square equal to 544. And difference of perimeters is given, that is going to be equal to 4x minus 4y equal to 32. I'm rewriting the second equation such that I can write it as y equal to x minus 8. If I substitute this value into the previous equation and simplify it, you get an expression that is x square minus 8x minus 240 equal to 0. This is the quadratic equation, right? You compare with the given equation with ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 and you get to see the values of a, b, c and substitute them into quadratic formula we have seen just now and simplify it such that you get x equal to 8 plus or minus 32 divided by 2. If I take plus value, then x is going to be 8 plus 32, that is equal to 40 divided by 2, means x equal to 20. I can take negative value, then x is going to be minus 24 by 2, that is equal to minus 12, right? Here you have to take a note of one thing. We are talking about length of side of a square, right? It cannot be a negative number. So it means that x equal to 20 is the answer we are looking for. If x equal to 20, then y is equal to 20 minus 8, that is equal to 12. So to answer the question, we can say that 20 meters and 12 meters are the sides of two squares given in the problem. Let's go to the next question, that is question number 20. Solve for x. The expression given is 1 by x minus 2 plus 2 by x minus 1 equal to 6 by x, where x cannot be equal to 0, 1 and 2, right? Let's write the expression as is. If you take the left hand side terms, those two can be written as x plus 1 plus 2x minus 4 divided by x minus 1 times x minus 2, right? Now take this expression and put it back into the first equation given, so that you can write it as 6 by x equal to 3x minus 5 divided by x minus 1 times x minus 2, right? You cross multiply this so that you get an expression that is 3x minus 5 times x equal to 6 times x minus 1 times x minus 2. You now simplify it such that you get 3x square minus 13x plus 12 equal to 0 as the quadratic expression or the quadratic equation, right? Let's use quadratic formula. You can go by any of the methods given, splitting the middle term or completing the square method, but I chose to go with quadratic formula. When you compare this particular equation with ax square plus bx plus c, you get a equal to 3, b equal to minus 13 and c equal to 12, right? Substitute them into the quadratic formula and simplify it such that you get x equal to 13 plus or minus 5 divided by 6. If I take plus 5, then x is going to be 18 by 6, that is equal to 3. If I take minus 5, then x is going to be 8 by 6, that is 4 by 3. Answer is x equal to 3 and x equal to 4 by 3. Let's go to the next question. That is, A and B working together can do a work in 6 days. If A takes 5 days less than B to finish the work, in how many days B alone can do the work? A and B can work together and complete the task in 6 days, right? If A takes 5 days less than B to finish the work, how many days B alone can do the work? This is the question asked. Let me assume that B finishes the work in X days. It means A can finish the work in X minus 5 days, right? Now you see this. B finishes the work in X days, means in one day, he can complete 1 by X portion of the work, right? Similarly, in one day, A can finish or A can complete 1 by X minus 5 portion of the work, right? The next statement given is both A and B together can finish the work in 6 days. It means in one day, they can finish 1 by 6th portion of the work, right? So keep these three things in mind. Now let's write work done by A and B in one day, that is equal to 1 by 6. That is going to be equal to 1 by x plus 1 by x minus 5. This is the equation we have to solve now. Left hand side terms can be rearranged such that you can express the full equation as 1 by 6 equal to x minus 5 plus x divided by x times x minus 5, right? You cross multiply it such that you get 6 times 2x minus 5 equal to x minus 5 times x. You multiply and further simplify the expression to get x square minus 17x plus 30 equal to 0. This is the quadratic equation. This can be expressed as x minus 15 times x minus 2 equal to 0. It means x can be 15 and x can be 2 also, right? But you may note that both A and B together can finish the work in 6 days. It means B cannot alone finish work in 2 days, right? So x equal to 2 is not a right option for this particular case. So X is 15 is the answer. It means B alone can finish the work in 15 days. Let's go to the next question. That is question number 22. Two taps running together can fill a tank in 3 1/3 hours. If one tap takes 3 hours more than other to fill the tank, then how much time will each tap take to fill the tank? It is more or less similar to the earlier problem we have done. So let me say that, assume that tap 1 fills the tank in X hours. It means in 1 hour, it can fill 1/x portion of the tank. Please take a note of that. One tap is able to fill in X hours means the other tap is going to take X plus 3 hours. It means in 1 hour, it can fill 1/x plus 3 portion of the tank, right? And it was said that both taps together can fill the tank in 3 1/13 hours. That can be written as 40/13 hours, right? It means when both the taps are allowed to fill, in 1 hour, they can finish a portion that is equal to 13/40. Please take a note of that. Fraction of volume filled by the two taps in 1 hour is equal to 13/40. That is equal to 1/x plus 1/x plus 3. You solve this particular equation. I'm rearranging and then cross multiplying it such that, and further simplifying it to get a quadratic equation that is 13x square minus 41x minus 120 equal to 0. This can be written as 13x plus 24 times x minus 5 equal to 0. We are doing splitting the middle term method here, right? It means x can be minus 24/13 or x can be equal to 5, right? The negative number you cannot take because time cannot be in negative. So x equal to 5 hours is the answer. It means tap 1 can fill the tank in 5 hours and tap 2 can fill the tank in 8 hours. Please take a note of that. Let's go to the next question, that is, in a class test, the sum of Arun's marks in Hindi and English are 30. Had he got 2 marks more in Hindi and 3 marks less in English, the product of the marks would have been 210. Find the marks in 2 subjects. Let me assume that Arun's marks in Hindi is X or X. So marks in English are going to be 30 minus X because sum of the marks of Hindi and English are 30, right? The second statement says that had he got 2 marks more in Hindi. It means 2 marks more in Hindi can be written as X plus 2 and 3 marks less in English can be written as 30 minus X minus 3, right? The statement says that the product of the marks would have been 210. It means 30 minus X minus 3 times X plus 2 equal to 210. You simplify this equation such that you get x square minus 25x plus 156 equal to 0 as the quadratic equation. This can be written as x minus 13 times x minus 12 equal to 0. It means x equal to 13 and x equal to 12 are the roots for this particular equation. If I choose x equal to 13, then Arun's marks in Hindi are going to be 13 and English is going to be 17. That is 30 minus 13, right? I can choose x equal to 12 also. If I choose x equal to 12, then Arun's marks in Hindi are going to be 12 and English are going to be 18, right? Let's go to the next question, that is question number 24. A motor boat whose speed is 18 kilometers per hour in still waters takes 1 hour more to go 24 kilometers upstream than to return downstream to the same spot. Find the speed of the stream. This question has appeared in 2020 set number 5 and in 2018 set number 1. Even the numbers were not changed. It was given that speed of boat in still waters is 18 kilometers per hour. If you are going upstream, meaning against the water flow, your speed, the boat speed is going to get reduced, right? Boat speed is going to be less than 18 kilometers. Whereas if you are going along with the stream or the downstream, then speed of boat is going to increase. Speed of boat in still waters is 18 kilometers per hour. And we are asked to find the speed of the stream. So I am assuming that speed of the stream is x kilometers per hour. If you are going upstream, then speed of boat is going to be 18 minus x kilometers per hour because it has to be less than 18 kilometers per hour. So time taken to cover 24 kilometers upstream is given as 24 divided by 18 minus x hours. Please take a note of this. 24 divided by 18 minus x hours. Speed of boat in downstream is going to be much higher than 18 kilometers, right, per hour. So speed of boat in downstream is going to be 18 plus x kilometers per hour. It means time taken to cover 24 kilometers downstream is 24 divided by 18 plus x hours. So it was given that the difference between these two times is 1 hour, right? Let me write the difference in time, that is 1 hour equal to 24 divided by 18 minus x minus 24 divided by 18 plus x. This particular equation can be rearranged and written as shown here. You can further rearrange and write it as 24 times 18 plus x minus 24 times 18 minus x equal to 18 minus x times 18 plus x. When you simplify it, you get a quadratic equation, that is x square plus 48x minus 324 equal to 0. One can solve this equation using any of the methods we have discussed in this video. If you use splitting the middle term, you can get an answer like this: x minus 6 times x plus 54 equal to 0. It means x equal to 6 and x equal to minus 54 are the roots for this particular equation. Time cannot be negative, right? So we can simply drop x equal to minus 54 root, which is not applicable here. X equal to 6 is the choice. It means speed of the stream is x equal to 6 kilometers per hour. Let's go to the next question. A train travels at a certain average speed for a distance of 360 kilometers. It would have taken 48 minutes less to travel the same distance if the speed was 5 kilometers per hour more. Find the original speed of the train. I'm assuming that original speed of the train is x kilometers per hour. It means time taken for covering 360 kilometers at original speed is going to be 360 divided by x hours, right? Speed is increased by 5 kilometers per hour. It means new speed is going to be x plus 5 kilometers per hour, right? So time taken for covering 360 kilometers at new speed is going to be 360 divided by x plus 5 hours, right? The difference in time is given as 48 minutes, right? You have to convert that into hours. It means 48 by 60 hours, right? So difference in time can be expressed now as 48 by 60 equal to 360 by x minus 360 by x plus 5, right? This can be rearranged and written as shown here. And when you simplify, when you cross multiply this and simplify, what you get is 48x times x plus 5 equal to 60 times 360 times 5. You simplify this expression such that you get a quadratic equation, that is x square plus 5x minus 2250 equal to 0. When you solve this, you get x plus 50 times x minus 45 equal to 0. It means x equal to minus 50 and x equal to 45 are the roots for the given equation. Time cannot be a negative number, so x equal to minus 50 is not applicable here. We can use x equal to 45 to answer the question. So original speed of the train is equal to x equal to 45 kilometers per hour. I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to our channel ECBSC online classes on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Please share this with your friends so that it can benefit even your friends. Thank you.